Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
So good, so good, so good.
Spring styles are at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and they're up to 60% off. Stock up and save on Rag & Bone, Madewell, Vince, All Saints, and more of your favorites.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
Why do we rack? For the hottest deals. Just so many good brands.
Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
It's another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, and I'm Dr. Neal Malik. Hey there, welcome back to another Friday show where I answer your questions. On all the other days, I read health and fitness blogs to you like an audiobook, with permission from the authors, of course. Now, I'll let you know how you can send in your own question at the end of the show and get rewarded for it. But for now, let's hear today's question and start optimizing your life. Today's question came via email. Scott writes, "Hello, I'm trying to lower my cholesterol without meds. I did some research and it seems how you brew your coffee can impact your cholesterol levels. Can you provide more information? Thanks." Thank you for taking the time to send in your question, Scott. The relationship between coffee and blood cholesterol levels is a bit confusing. This is because studies have actually found that drinking coffee can increase our blood cholesterol levels. But then, newer studies found that, as you said, Scott, the way we brew our coffee may be the most important thing. Now, I like to start at the beginning and, of course, give a bit of background so we understand what's really going on. So let's start by talking about what healthy blood cholesterol levels look like. According to the National Heart, Blood, and Lung Institute, for those 20 years of age or older, we want our total cholesterol numbers to be less than 200. We want our LDL, or bad cholesterol levels, to be less than 100. And we want our HDL, or good cholesterol, to be above 40 if born male and above 50 if born female. Now, I remember when I was first learning these terms in school, it was hard for me to remember which type of cholesterol was good and which was bad. So my instructor said to imagine that the L in LDL meant lousy or lethal cholesterol, and the H in HDL meant happy or healthy cholesterol. So the LDL cholesterol, or lousy or lethal cholesterol, that's the one that clogs up our arteries. HDL is considered happy or healthy because it helps the body clear LDL from the arteries. Again, that's why it's good. By clearing LDL from the arteries, HDL lowers our risk for heart attack and stroke. Now, how could coffee possibly increase our blood cholesterol levels? Well, as I said earlier, there were studies that found that drinking coffee regularly increased LDL, or bad cholesterol levels in the blood. But it turns out this did depend on how the coffee was brewed. There's a compound found naturally in coffee called Cafestol. Cafestol seems to increase LDL cholesterol in the blood. If we just boil coffee, like say we're using a French press or consuming Turkish coffee or even instant coffee, we are drinking that Cafestol, which again may increase our blood LDL cholesterol levels. But if we brew coffee using a paper filter, the paper removes most of the Cafestol. Now, what about those that enjoy espresso? Espresso does contain Cafestol, but not as much as boiled coffee, like French press coffee. So if we want to keep our blood levels of LDL cholesterol low, then using a paper filter when brewing our coffee can help. Now, if you don't drink coffee, or at least not regularly, there are other ways to lower blood cholesterol levels without the use of medications. So here are some lifestyle changes that have been shown to help reduce blood cholesterol levels. First, weight loss. One of the most effective ways to lower blood cholesterol and blood pressure quickly is weight loss. And this weight loss doesn't have to be dramatic. Just 5 to 10 pounds can actually lead to a 5 to 8% drop in LDL levels specifically. Second, eat less trans fat, less saturated fat, but more omega-3s and more monounsaturated fats. For example, red meat is usually high in saturated fat, and we're finding through multiple studies that saturated fat may increase LDL cholesterol levels. And when it comes to trans fat, most health organizations recommend we get 0 grams of trans fat each day, so basically complete avoidance. And even the newest dietary guidelines for Americans suggest that less than 10% of our total calories for the day should come from saturated fat. When it comes to omega-3s, on the other hand, and even monounsaturated fats, these tend to also reduce LDL cholesterol levels. The best food sources of omega-3 fats are those fatty cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, halibut, and trout. You can get omega-3 fats from plant-based sources too, and I'll talk more about that in a second. The goal when it comes to omega-3s from fatty fish is to try and consume 1.5 to 2 grams per day. If you don't like any of the fish that I mentioned, talk to your doctor about taking an omega-3 supplement. And as far as monounsaturated fats, which again is also heart healthy and helps reduce that bad cholesterol or LDL in the blood, olive oil is one of the best sources. Next, another diet recommendation would be to eat more dietary fiber. So I just mentioned a second ago that you can find plant-based sources of omega-3s, which are good because they lower LDL cholesterol levels in the blood. Well, one of these plant-based sources that happens to be high in omega-3 fats and dietary fiber at the same time would be walnuts. So one way to eat more dietary fiber and more omega-3s at the same time would be to add a 1/4 cup of walnuts to your diet each day. Fruits, vegetables, and whole grains are also good fiber sources. And fiber is helpful for reducing cholesterol because it helps bind to the cholesterol in our blood. So in a way, it acts the same way as HDL cholesterol, or that happy or healthy cholesterol. So how much fiber do we need? For those born female, 25 grams a day is perfect. For those born male, 38 grams. Oh, and if you decide to increase your fiber intake, please do it slowly to avoid any gastrointestinal distress, and it also helps to drink more water if you're increasing your fiber intake too. A couple more recommendations. Consume less added sugar. Added sugars get converted to fat really easily, and that fat can then turn into LDL cholesterol. And lastly, not so much diet related, but exercise and of course stress management. One of the most effective ways to increase HDL, or that good, happy, healthy cholesterol, is through high intensity exercise. But high intensity exercise is not for everyone. Have a discussion about this type of exercise with your doctor to make sure it's safe for you. And if someone hasn't been active in a while, I don't recommend starting with a high intensity exercise routine. But if you can do it 2 to 3 times per week and stay consistent, it will help. And last but certainly not the least important, managing stress. If stress seems like it's starting to build and we're not dealing with it effectively, it can raise LDL cholesterol levels too. And one of the best ways to manage stress, get in that workout. And to go back to your original question, Scott, use that paper filter when brewing your coffee. A thoughtfully built wardrobe comes down to pieces that mix well and last. That's where Quince shines. Premium fabrics, considered design, and everyday essentials that feel effortless to wear and dependable, even as the seasons change. Quince works directly with top factories. No middlemen, no brand markup. Their cashmere is 100% Mongolian, the same grade luxury brands use. And I'd highly recommend checking it out. Like their cashmere polo, it's incredibly soft and feels expensive, but it's actually affordable. Stop overcomplicating your wardrobe. You need a few pieces that actually work. Right now, go to quince.com/OHD for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/OHD for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/OHD. If you're a small business, the right hire can be make or break. Hoping the right people see your job posting isn't the best growth strategy. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Join the 3.3 million employers worldwide that use Indeed to connect with quality talent that fits their needs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to send in your questions, Scott. Now, if you want to send your questions in and get a copy of our Optimal Living Daily Workbook for doing so, you can email your question to health@oldpodcast.com. That's health@oldpodcast.com. Or if you want your voice played on the show, just come by oldpodcast.com/ask. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in your question. The number is 161 I love OHD. That's 1-614-568-3643. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Answering them is my favorite part of the show. But that'll do it for another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily. Thank you so much for listening every day and all the way through. I hope you have a great start to your weekend. And of course, I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.